Fifth and sixth graders, hello. Um, if you don't know who I am, I'm Mr. Cassidy, one of the music teachers. And today we're going to be starting out our first lesson on music appreciation. So we're going to be talking about music from, in this time that we're together, be talking about music from the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s, the 2000s. Well, we'll see how far we get. And we're going to start, with a genre or two within that decade at a time, okay, of popular music from, America, basically. So American popular music. So what did American popular music look like at different times? We all listened to American popular music, um, which makes this topic kind of exciting. Uh, you may listen to American popular music of today. You might listen to someone who just made a song, last month, and you're listening to their album now or listening to that song now. Or you might be listening to some stuff that your parents are listening to, your grandparents are listening to, or, some stuff that you really like that's from the 70s or the 60s or the 50s. There's so much American popular music out there. Developing an ear for that different music is kind of what we're going to be doing. So, one, we're going to be talking about the history. Okay, so listening to music throughout this time frame, starting from the 1970s, because that's kind of where the sixth graders left off, right? Sixth graders. We're going to start here, and then we're going to be going, up the decades. So we'll do a couple set lessons on the 70s. We're going to move into the 80s. We're going to move into the 90s. Lots of really cool music to listen to. The second thing we're going to be doing in these lessons is really developing our ear to what we're supposed to be doing when we listen to music. So I like to think of it this way. You can, pick up a book, but unless you're paying attention to what you're reading, I bet you've had times where you've been tired while you're reading and you just kind of forget everything you've read. You really have to pay attention when you read. It's the same thing when you watch TV. You can put TV on and you can watch a show or, anything like that, but if you weren't really paying attention to it, you might forget what it was about tomorrow, right? It's the same thing with music. We have to really listen to music to really get the most out of it, right? You can put music on in the background, but that just means you're playing music. That doesn't mean you're listening to it. So when we listen to music, what should we be doing? What are we listening for? That's the second thing that we're going to be learning through this time. Okay, so one is we're going to be learning a little bit about the music history and the different types of pop music over, for American pop music, and we're also going to be learning about about how to listen to music a little bit. Okay, we might even get into some, we're probably going to get into some musical terms and things too, because sometimes we're going to need some of that music knowledge, right? A little bit of music theory, I guess, in order to kind of like really get into some of these things. That being said, it's time to start our journey. To start, let's take a look at the music of the 70s that we're going to be talking about. So over the next couple lessons, we're going to be learning about music from the 70s and the most popular genres of that time. Now, given this wasn't the only type of music during this time, but the most popular types of music that we're going to be talking about, okay, are reggae, pop/soft rock, hard rock, R&B, jazz rock, southern rock, and Latin rock. Okay, so those are going to be our most popular types of music from the 1970s. So, as I said, we need to learn a little bit about how to listen to music. So we're going to start with that before we really get into these genres, okay? So, first of all, listening to music. So what do we do when we're listening to music? What should we be thinking about? Okay? So these are the questions you should be asking yourself. So to be an active listener, you're going to be listening to the music, and you're going to want to roll through these questions through your head, okay? And even writing some of these down. In fact, that's going to be a little bit of our activities, listening to music and writing some of this down. So, one, how does the music make you feel? Music's art, right? And art is supposed to make us feel something. That's the whole point of art. I mean, if you draw a stick figure and someone laughs at it, then maybe it's art. If you draw a stick figure and no one even really thinks of anything with it, not really art, right? A painting, someone makes a painting, you might say, wow, that's really beautiful, right? It makes you feel things like, wow, look at the beauty, I'm in awe. Your stick figure might not do the same thing, which may not make it quite as art, right? Same with movies. Movies can make us cry. Movies can make us think about things in our lives, right? Could make us laugh. Can make us do lots of those things, right? That's what makes movies art. Music's the same way. It gives us feelings, right? And so, how does the music make you feel is really the basic thing. That artist who just sang that song, how is that music making you feel? And that doesn't mean all music's going to make you cry or something, obviously. Some music's meant for dancing. It's supposed to make you feel good, right? It's supposed to make you feel energetic and energized and want to dance. Some music is there to make you feel sad. So how does the music make you feel? Two, what instruments do you hear? Okay, so this one is going to have to go into some different knowledge, and we'll do another lesson later where we kind of go through some instruments. I kind of just want to practice this and see if you can pull some out. So how does the music make you, sorry, what instruments do you hear? Okay, what instruments do you hear? Go through, you hear guitars, do you hear basses, do you hear ukuleles, do you hear drums, do you hear horns? What kind of horns? Is it trombones or trumpets? What are you hearing, right? So that's question 2. What instruments do you hear? Question 3, is the song fast or slow? That's the tempo of a song, right? I like to think, not that this is the only thing that's going to make you want to dance a particular way to a type of music, but when I think about this is, can you dance to this music, and how would you dance to this music? Because depending on how fast the song is going to make you dance a certain way, right? Whether it's a head bob, whether it's a full-on dance, whether it's a slow dance, right? Or just makes you sway a little bit. How would you dance to it is really, a lot of it comes down to the tempo of the song. Not all, but a lot of it. And then the next 2 questions we'll talk about more in depth, but let's just go into really quickly. What is the melody? Okay, what's the melody like? What's it doing? Songs, I think we can kind of break into 2 parts, right? We can break it into the pulse, the beat, the rhythm, right? That's all together. So our pulse, right, or our beat, okay? When we put a number to it, it becomes a rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is not, right, the melody of a song, okay? The melody of the song is what the melodic instruments are doing, like guitars or horns, right? Okay, so they would be doing something like this. Bop, 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 bop. Okay, you see what I did there? Okay, so what I was doing with my mouth, that was the melody of the song. It just turned a simple, like, beat or rhythm into a Michael Jackson song, right? The melody, okay, really makes a big difference in kind of the other questions that we hear up above. I mean, your tempo is going to be more from your rhythm, but how does it make you feel a lot of times is going to be from partially tempo, but a lot of it's the melody, right? So we'll talk more about that more in depth, okay, in another video. What are the lyrics about? Okay, so that could be like the hardest one. A lot of times we listen to songs, especially when you're not really listening, too hard to it, and you miss what the lyrics can be about, right? So you may be listening to a song, and one day you've heard this song a bunch of times, and all of a sudden you go, wait, is that what this song is about? And that happens all the time. I know that happens a lot to me, because you kind of learn, at least in my opinion, what I do is a lot of times I'll learn how the song goes, and then you may learn the words to the song, and then you start thinking about the words once you really learn the whole thing. So sometimes the lyrics can be the hardest part, because it's the thing sometimes we pay attention to last. So what are the lyrics about? And when we do that, we'll be listening to music and having lyrics there, so you can look through them, and it just takes a little bit of reading and looking through it and seeing what that looks like. So these are our questions. These are our 5 questions when we listen to music. Okay. Again, how does the music make you feel? What instruments do you hear? Is the song fast or slow? As in, what's the tempo? What is the melody like? And what are the lyrics about? Okay. All right, so let's start with our first type of music, and we're only going to do one genre today, okay? And we're going to kind of, one genre and one vocab word, okay? So our first genre is going to be R&B, all right? So, R&B music was a very popular type of music in the 1970s. Still a very popular type of music today, both the 1970s version of it and the modern version of it. R&B stands for rhythm and blues. Um, and sixth graders, especially, as you know, we talked about rhythm and blues this year. It's the one of the basis. The blues and rhythm and blues was the basis for rock and roll music, right? Well, at this point, we now call it R&B, and R&B music takes a bit of a turn. It's a little bit different, okay? And when you listen to these songs, you'll be able to hear that. So here's a couple of the songs that we're listening to. Stevie Wonder's Superstition. Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Those are both on the playlist that you guys should be listening to. So listen to these songs um, and come back, okay? So I want you to go ahead and pause this video. Okay, listen to at least one of the songs. Let's just listen to Stevie Wonder. Okay, Superstition. Pause the video. Okay, come back after you're done, and we'll talk about what we heard. Okay, all right. Pause now. All right, you're back. I hope you listened to the song. Stevie Wonder, Superstition. Okay, let's go through just the first three questions. Yeah. Okay. So one, what how did the song make you feel? Okay, think about that. You heard the song, it was playing, you were listening to it intently. How did the song make you feel? I know when I was going through classes this last couple weeks, we were listening to this song, and students thought that it made them feel energetic. It made them want to dance. It felt like it was, I heard a lot of this is hype music, right? It's definitely a song that makes you want to get out there and dance, right? It's definitely dance music, yeah. It's definitely not a sad song. It's not going to sit there and make you want to cry. It's a really energetic and just outgoing song, right? It's dance music for sure. Okay. Second, okay. So we have how did it make us feel? What instruments did you hear? Well, think about it for a second. See if you can list some. Maybe go back and listen to it. Stop this video again and listen to it. So lots of instruments there, right? We had guitars, we had bass, we had drums, we had horns, right? We had piano. We even had a synthesizer here. Synthesizer being an electronic music, right? There's a little bit in there. Plus vocals, right? I mean, our voices are an instrument. Lots in there. Yeah. Cool. That's the process. Oh, and tempo. Sorry, I forgot. Tempo. How fast or slow is it? Remember, how could we dance this? How would you dance to this? Would you dance slowly to it? Would you just bob to it? Yeah, I don't think so, right? This is more of just it's, really fast head bob here. You're going to be really dancing to it, right? It's dance music for sure. It's got a really nice beat. It's a pretty fast, medium-paced tempo, yeah? Okay, so those are our first three questions, and I want you to, after this video is done, for your assignment, you're going to be going through, and I want you to listen to as many of these songs as you want on the playlist. But I want you to pick 5 of them, maybe 5 of your favorites. That's why I know which one's your favorites, by the ones you pick. And go through and answer those 3 questions for each of those songs, okay? Each of those 3 questions for 5 of the songs that you pick, okay? There's definitely more than 5 songs there, so pick your favorite 5, answer those questions to those songs, okay? And they're all going to be R&B songs from the 1970s. All right, so I do have one vocab term I wanted to go over, okay, and that's overdubbing. So what is overdubbing? Well, our definition, as you can see on the screen, is synchronizing the performance of several tracks on the recording tape. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, think about it this way. So if you have your band with you, okay, and you want to go, you've written a song and you want to record it so you can put it on Spotify or whatever, what are you going to do to get that recorded? Well, you would take your band, right, and you'd have a bunch of mics, and you would be in a studio, and you all get together, and you start your song, and the mics capture your song, right, and then your song's there, and then it's recorded, yeah? And then you can kind of just edit it up a little bit, right, and then there's your song. That is true. That's one way you could do this. Another way is called overdubbing, Okay, and this became a thing that was invented and then got popular in the 1970s. Overdubbing was when you would play individual instruments, or maybe one or two instruments at a time, and then you would roll the tape back, and then you would play another instrument over all of that. So you layered all your instruments down, and so you didn't have to play all the instruments at one time. So Stevie Wonder on Superstition played almost every instrument on that track. Pretty crazy, right? Very talented guy, Stevie Wonder. So how did he do that? Well, we can do that today. In fact, you guys could try this if you want. If you have an iPhone or iPad, you can do this for free, right? Which is you can pull out GarageBand. And if you've ever played with GarageBand, or if you're going to now, you'll know that you can have different tracks. You just add them, right? So if you look at like this GarageBand track that we have on the screen, you can see that there's these different tracks, and they all have different instruments on them. So there's a drums, right? There looks like a bass guitar. There's tambourine. There's a piano. There's a couple keyboards, right? There's vocals. Okay, so these tracks right here are your overdub. You don't have to do all these at the same time, right? If you're working in GarageBand or something like that, you can mess with the drum kit, put it on there, and then you can put the guitar track on there, mess with the guitar. You can even plug in instrument, right? Use your microphone to do the tambourine or clapping or singing. Not all this has to be done at the same time. It doesn't have to be recorded all at the same time. That's overdubbing. And that's how Stevie Wonder made that track Superstition. So, next time, we'll be going over a few more genres in R&B with a few more vocab terms. I really wanted to just go over the questions and go over one of these genres today. The other thing is, now what do you do? Okay, so now that you've done this video, okay, I want you to go and listen to that Spotify playlist. If you don't have Spotify account, right, you'll just be able to listen to the first 30 seconds of each of those songs on my website, cngmusic.com. Or you can get a free Spotify account and open that playlist up into your Spotify, and you can listen to all those songs, okay, and listen to them through. I highly suggest that. You could also, if you don't have Spotify, you could also type in those song titles into YouTube and see if you can listen to those songs there. The list is there, so use that list however you want to listen to those songs. Then in Google Classroom, I want you to open up the document where I want you to fill out, okay, for 5 songs, answer those 3 questions. There's a little chart there, and I want you to go ahead and fill out in the chart and submit it to me and Mr. Griffin, and we will check it out and send you back some feedback, okay? All right, I hope you enjoyed this lesson on R&B. I hope you really enjoy listening to R&B music. Listen with your parents and your brothers and sisters. They'll probably enjoy it too. I will see you next week or online live with some more lessons. All right. Bye, guys.